Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. Today I am filming a book review and it has been a minute since I filmed like a single one, I think, so bear with me. Today I am reviewing Lonely Receiver by Zac Thompson, which is I think the writer, and then the artist is Hickman. I got my copy from NetGalley, which is why I'm filming this review, and according to NetGalley it was released on the 27th of April, so it is already out but fairly recently. This is a graphic novel in the horror and sci-fi genre, and it follows Catherine, who 10 years ago bought a artificial intelligence that was to be her wife. So they was to be the perfect wife, loving her forever. And then the wife, or like the artificial intelligence with the name Rion, disappears, and then Catherine kind of goes insane, I would say. She really unravels and cannot function without her, trying to find her, doing a lot of crazy different things, trying to connect with her again after Rion disconnected. And that is basically the story. Like, it is not a long one, it has 5 parts, but like it is a graphic novel and it has like 128 pages, I believe, so it's not like a long story, but things do go down in it. But overall it was very weird. It is probably one of the weirdest things I have read, like a weird graphic novel. There is explicit sexual content, for example, bit of blood and stuff, I would say. But it is weird. It has like this sci-fi setting, and at first I actually hadn't read the synopsis. I didn't even know that one of them was kind of artificial, because like they're real, but she just disappeared. So I don't know if like Rion was actually just in her mind, or if it's like an actual, I'm not gonna say like robot, I guess would be the word, walking around. It was hard to tell what was going on. There was a lot of shifts in the story suddenly, so you were like reading one part of the story and then it suddenly shifted, so that got very confusing, because you got a bit confused of like how some parts hang together. Like one, it opens with one scene but then changes the scene in the next, I was gonna say slide, the next page, and I was just like, whoa, what's that first scene? And I felt like we, for example, never got an answer for that. It's also like doesn't explain a lot of things. We do know like that Catherine has this kind of phone from this company that made her be able to get all these things. She had done modifications to her body to be able to get Rion, but I still didn't understand if like Rion was actually there, or if it's just like since she had like a brain implant thing that made her body thinking she was with someone, if you know what I mean, since they like, you know, had sex and stuff. I guess that's a part of the mystery. There's also just like this weird, after the story unravels, after a while it truly unravels. Like we go down literally, I was gonna almost say into the void, and there is tentacles and a lot of naked bodies, and the story literally just falls apart. And I think that does fit with Catherine's, I would say, psyche falling a bit apart. It does fit that theme, but overall I didn't really get the story. I feel like it was written very confusingly. It could just easily clarify things, but instead it had this random poetic writing instead sometimes, and it started to like reflect and be poetic, and then it made it hard for me to actually know what they were feeling, because it was like reading poetry suddenly, and then I was just like, can't you be a bit, I get the author maybe wanted to be like beautiful and flowery, but I do feel like it did not fit with the story, because then we really fell out and it was hard to follow what was actually happening, what was real, what was not real, and like the interesting, I think, parts of the story disappeared because it was unclear what was going on, like truly clear. So I think the story had potential, but it did let me down because it was generally confusing and it was hard to tell what was going on and like the meaning of things, as I said. So yeah, and then it also just got very weird. Like the weirdness was so weird that it wasn't fun weird, it just got so weird that you were just questioning what is even going on. So overall, like I didn't have lots of expectations going in, since, you know, I just requested it on NetGalley and I got it, and I was like, okay, I will review it and read it, of course. And I did enjoy parts, but as I said, the confusion, or sorry, overall, the shifts, the writing, it did just end up being just a totally okay graphic novel for me, and I think I give it like 2 stars to sound really bad, but if I could round it up I would give it 2.5, but I was just trying to think about like my enjoyment of it, and it wasn't a lot. But if the interesting elements of it had been more interesting, then it definitely would have gotten a higher rating. But if you want like a super weird graphic novel, then you have it. It's supposed to be like about breakup and after, I think, but I feel like it was just crazy instead. And some like the sci-fi elements could have been cool. So yeah, I wouldn't exactly say like I would recommend it for everyone, because it was a weird, I would say confusing, that I don't think everyone would enjoy it, but I can definitely see target audiences enjoy it. So like if it sounds like it is for you, then you go. Like if you like a bit like obscure sci-fi thing with boobs in, then you're good to go. So yeah, I think that's it for my review, because there's not really much more to say. I think I covered pretty much everything. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and you can check this out now. I will leave it linked to the Goodreads page down below, so you can read more about it if you want to. And leave a robot emoji down below if you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.